Hello everybody. Welcome to this first edition of Nanosatellite Design Talks. It's the first edition. I don't expect a huge crowd, but it's going to be like this every Monday. And every Monday, we're going to have a great time talking about how you can benefit from the space industry. If you want to join the space industry, if you want to build spacecrafts, if you want to design space missions, right? This is where we're going to give you a little bit of insight. I'll be having guests for you, and we're going to have a little bit of fun. The idea is to show you how it's done rather than just talking about it. In the Nanosatellite Mission Design Training, NMD Training channel on Telegram, I am going to share a link to join this conversation live, and I believe I can take a maximum of 10 people per show. So let me do that. Let me put the link to join in on this conversation live right there in the channel. And there we go. Join today's conversation live now. There you go. And in case you're wondering what channel I'm talking about, you have the link to the channel in descriptions, right? And you can join the channel. In that channel, I have made available the quasi totality of our training, and future trainings will also be there available for free, absolutely free. If you want to learn about how to design a space mission, how to design from an introductory point of view, well, you're not part of the space industry, you don't know anything about space missions or satellites, but you're interested, there is this course you can take. It's right there for free. If you already have a little bit of background, what do I call background? High school level physics, and you want to understand how objects move in space, there's a training there also for free. And just in case you are on the management side, there's a great course there also on how to manage space missions. And it's packaged into a model that you can use to manage just about any project, right? It's right there. So the format, and this is the first one, and how can I say? Like I said, every Monday, same time, we're going to be meeting here. The format is going to be really simple. We start off by talking about us, right? The people in space, in the space industry, from a personal perspective. So basically, meet the humans, and then we're going to talk about what we do, real briefly, and show you a little bit of what we do. And then dive into questions that you may have to ask. It would be very interesting as over time we expect that we're going to be having more and more people wanting to join live. So we're getting started, and it's the first one, and we will be busy together for just 30 minutes, not more than that. So I'm going to kick off today by myself. I am my own guest. I hope you won't be too bored, from seeing my face and hearing my voice. But what I want to show you today is a little tour of what it looks like, this famous Telegram group. So I'm going to share, not the group, the Telegram channel. I'm going to share, what am I going to share? I'm going to share, can I share this? I don't know if I can share this directly. All right, so I see there is some notification here. All right, I might have this is being streamed on Facebook, on YouTube, and on LinkedIn, and it appears there is an issue with LinkedIn, but I'll get to it right after. Yeah, I have to get to it afterwards. There's always an issue, but we'll get it fixed, and yes, nothing was changed, so it should be fine. Well, let's see how it goes, all right, and we'll get it better as we go on. So, like I said, the Telegram channel. The link is in the description, but I'm going to put the link again in a comment here. Right. So normally, wherever you are, wherever you're watching from, be it Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube, you should be receiving this link. Okay. I had an email not too long before starting this live, and it was a student, and I don't know if this student is live right now, or eventually I believe they'll see this video at some point, asking me, well, basically saying that they have a project where they have to do a feasibility study for using some category of nanosatellite that I will not mention because it is a personal study for border surveillance. So it is more of the security side of things. And this gentleman was asking to access the software IDM-CIC. So the first thing that jumped to mind is probably this student must have read about IDM-CIC, tried to find it, couldn't find it, couldn't see where to download it. Eventually stumbled upon my content and reached out to me, trying to access the software. So this is a software made available by the French space agency, Centre National d'Études Spatiales, in France, obviously. For free so far it's for free on one condition, that you get training for it, right? Very soon they are going to change the way a person can access this software. I'll keep you posted on that. Now, what is this software? It's something that allows you to do concurrent design of a spacecraft, right? But IDM-CIC doesn't come alone. It is with IDM View. So in IDM-CIC, you put a team together. Together, you design a spacecraft, and in IDM View, you have an interactive 3D visualization of this design of yours, right? So if it is a feasibility study for a spacecraft without a context of a mission, it's not very useful. Because if you think about it, if you have enough money, you can do what you want, right? You can push technology beyond borders where it currently is. So that's not really the game changer. If you are within the context of a mission, then you start having some constraints that will guide how you design your spacecraft. So this young man was talking about monitoring borders, and this is a common use of space technology, right? Very common. And you need to think about the mission aspect when you consider using a certain size of the spacecraft, because what do you mean controlling, monitoring your borders? What are you monitoring, right? It could be images, it could be some signal of some sort, depending on what you're looking for. What is your payload? And if you don't understand what it means, a payload for the platform you're trying to develop, subscribe to the Telegram channel. There's training on all of this for absolutely free, right? You don't need to pay to acquire this knowledge. However, there is a cost for taking certification exams. So to obtain an NMD certificate of completion, you need to pass an exam. And you need to prepare well for this exam. The material is free anyway. You can always exchange questions. If you have questions, you can ask. You'll have answers to your questions. That too for free. So it's normal that you are expected to pass this exam solidly, no? So therefore, the minimum percentage to pass is 90%. If you have less than 90%, you have to take the exam again. So there's a reason for that. We have a certain standard to maintain. Let me explain. NMD, in a very short period of time, very short period of time, managed to acquire some level of credibility in Africa, in Europe, and in Asia. Not the entire continent, but certain countries in these continents. It is therefore very important to maintain this and keep it ever stronger, no, over time. So the move to make the content freely accessible has to be accompanied with a move to reassure everyone else who knows about our exam that there is absolutely no compromise on that. Right? So in order to get this certificate of completion, that proves that you have actually acquired the knowledge that we have made available for free. There is a cost for it, and these exams happen every month at the end of the month. And to register for the exam, you need to. All the information is going through the Telegram channel. So when they're scheduled, that's where you'll know the dates. That's where you have the link to register. And I mean, just subscribe to the channel. You'll get all the information there. For the March sessions, I'm busy scheduling them, and it will be posted very soon. People can, anticipate and prepare. I want to post it before the end of this week. So let me seize this opportunity, therefore, and this email that came in today to once again, and it's not new. This is something that I have shared before on the NMD YouTube channel. A little bit of an overview of what is IDM CIC, what it can do. However, it evolves over time and it becomes better and better. I want to show you, there you go. I'll try to share, I'll share my screen with you so you can see what I am talking about. Okay. Let's see. Now I need to decide on the window to share. Oh, it appears I might have to share the entire screen, which is not a problem. As long as, there you go. I believe you can see a model of a CubeSat that was designed in IDM CIC and that you can visualize in IDM View. In here, you can animate this model, right? you can, let's see, visualization, articulations. You can fold and unfold. Let's fold the antennae. Really cool, isn't it? Let's try and fold the solar panels also. There we go. All right. So this is not the only thing you can do here. You can, when you're doing a feasibility study, you're probably going to want your satellite to be in different modes. So here we have, for example, survival mode, where satellites are generally put in survival mode in case something happens. Maybe there is some error, some malfunction. You can call, some people call it sleep. No, sometimes sleep is separate from survival. So you do have an unexpected error, and it goes on survival mode, or something else could bring it to survival mode. You have detumbling, which upon first release, it is the random motion of the satellite during which you acquire a controlled attitude. Transmission, if it's transmitting something, acquisition, if it's acquiring data, broadcast. This is just an example. If you design your mission, you could do it any way you want. And I do hope this gentleman will see this and think about the aspects to take into account when designing his mission, when doing his feasibility study. All right. You can also see what the mass and the power is in different modes, right? I'm not going to get into much details, but just so you have an idea, if I put on transmission mode and I look at the power distribution, you see that there is let's see, here it will be the RF module, which is consuming the most power because it is on transmission and it's transmitting, and therefore that's what's going to be consuming the most. If I look at power in detumbling mode, then you have the ADCS subsystems, which are mostly engaged because you are trying to acquire a controlled attitude, right? If I look at acquisition, which here in this case there's a camera, it's image acquisition, then you see that the camera starts consuming a bit more power, and things like this, which you can analyze and study during your mission. IDM-CIC itself, this is IDM View. IDM-CIC itself uses a Microsoft Excel interface so far. It might change, I'm not sure, but this works well because in a world where you have engineers and decision makers and policy makers and funders and sponsors working together, you expect everybody to have at least seen Microsoft Excel for once, or worked with it at some point. So it is a familiar interface to use in this case. So if I look at mass, for example, you have a sense of which are the heavier subsystems, etc., etc. It's easier with this to turn to the mechanical engineer and say, hey, maybe this part is a little heavier than it needs to be. How would you know? Because if you click on one part, then you see its characteristics here. You see the mass, and you see every characteristic that you would have defined during the design process. All right. So that is a very brief share of what you get after an IDM-CIC design, what comes out of IDM View, and how you use it to analyze your spacecraft within the context of a mission. Next week, probably, we're going to zoom in on what you see when you're looking at a spacecraft you have designed within a mission context, right? When I was doing a test run for this concept of a show, I used a mission that a group of students that I trained some time ago came up with sort of save lives, not sort of, to actually save lives of people who attempt illegal immigration of the Mediterranean, right? And that is a very interesting mission that would be good to develop progressively over here. One thing that you need to be clear with or clear on when discussing a mission is what problem you want to solve, because all of this is an attempt to solve a problem. And when you establish that space is the best way to solve this problem, then yeah, you would have done some study to determine that. I mentioned this why, because again, this gentleman needs to take into account that just because he's asked to study the feasibility of a satellite for border surveillance doesn't mean he has to just dive into using a satellite, right? There's something that has to come before that. He needs to convince whoever will be evaluating his report that there wasn't a better and more affordable solution for the level of surveillance that he wants to achieve, right? So that's a very important part. And again, these things I mentioned in the training that is free on the Telegram channel, which you can access with the link that I shared with you. So that being said, I think I'm going to end with the beginning, because the show normally starts with a personal note and then moves on to showing something cool and then moves on to questions. So I try to start by putting a question in context of an email I received earlier today, showing something cool. I hope it was cool what I showed you. There is no live guest today, so that would have been the third part, where we sort of interact with people who join the conversation live, right? Then that would be the end of the show. So that's the format. The beginning, which is something personal. So I think I'm going to share something personal about myself. So I am well, you already know that if you follow me on different social media, then you already know that I'm also a musician. But something I want to share is that when I was doing my master's, I was actually finishing up my master's and about to, sort of scouting around a PhD research topic. I was performing a lot in the university where I was, Cape Peninsula University of Technology, because people knew that I could sing. So I used to sing a lot at official ceremonies of the university. That was really cool. And one day, during a conversation with a lecturer, he said to me, why don't we do, it was Department of Electrical Engineering, so why don't we do a band with the electrical engineers? I was like, a band? He says, yeah, I'm a jazz pianist. And I was like, what? He says, yeah, I'm a jazz pianist. And then he said to me, another lecturer, he's a bass guitarist, one who played the French horn, another pianist, a drummer, a couple of singers, myself. There was a solo guitarist, a jazz guitarist, one who played in a rock band. I was amazed, because we could actually put together a very decent band. And believe you me, there were official events where I went as part of university delegation, and there was a band playing, sort of to entertain the guests. And who did I see? By that time, I was already doing my PhD, and I had a part-time contract. So at that time, I could call them colleagues. So I had at that ceremony, I had to perform with them. had to do an operatic aria, accompanied by a colleague on the piano, right? But then there was a band where I saw two colleagues, one on the keyboard and the other on the bass guitar, and it was just amazing. So, we in the in the space industry are human beings. We're normal. we like different things. We like arts. We like culture. We like food. We like to dance. Once upon a time, I used to be a choreographer, believe it or not. And one of the jazz pianists that I watched playing live in front of me, and that impressed me the most, was actually a how do I put this in a in a in a way that is not, that doesn't seem like I'm exaggerating. So this guy has managed from has held managerial and technical positions very high up in interplanetary space missions. I mean, he's something else. And when he plays the piano, he has this sentence that always made us laugh. He says, "Please don't tell my mom I'm a pianist. She thinks I'm an engineer," which is always very interesting when you hear him say it. But then, yeah, the personal thing I wanted to share here today, there are a couple of personal things I can share, is that yes, we do, we deal with complex systems, we deal with delicate systems. You know, we build technology that has to go to space, technology that has to work the first time. But we're regular people, you know, just like anyone else. I was born in Yaoundé in Cameroon. I don't know what makes me any more special than anyone else, right? I'm originally from, you know, my parents are from the West Province of Cameroon. I went to university in Boya, you know. I'm a regular guy. Along the way, things led to other things that led to me being involved in the space industry. But hey, anyone can do it. True. Anyone, if you have the right set of standards, you just need to decide that you will abide by a certain level of quality, and that you will deliver work of a certain quality, and then you can make it, you know. So yeah, this is not just me, and we're not weird people, you know, focused in boxes. We're just like everyone else. You watching, if you're a student, if you're in any other profession and you feel like you want to integrate the space industry, if you're doing whatever else, you can. You can. It really doesn't require a person to have you know, a certain kind of anatomy. All right. This is going to be the end of the broadcast today. Don't hesitate to contact me directly. Comment on any of the posts on the Telegram channel. I'll see it, I'll reply. Right? It's connected to the group where you have the discussion forum. I'll be there. If you have any questions, ask. And I will be talking to you again in 1 week. Next week, Monday, same time, same place. See you. Keep well. Bye-bye.